it puts you in fight or flight mode often. It puts you in fight or flight mode because there's been times where, I've heard gunshots at the oceanfront. I take off to the gunshots, handle a scene, and then, 2 hours later, I'm responding to a call to take a report of a stolen bike. So you constantly go like, whoop, 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 whoop. By the time I get home, sometimes you like, I don't even remember what happened that day because it was too much. And if you try to explain it, it doesn't make sense. So you telling me somebody got shot, you help patch them up and they got them on the way, and then you arrest somebody for heroin, then you went to an overdose call, and then you took the report at 7-Eleven for stolen, fruit cup. Like, you did all that in one day. It's like, yeah, it's just a day at the job. It's just a day.
Presented by Coastal Virginia Investigations. The Undercurrent explores the stories beneath the surface.
Officer Jerome Scurry
Jr., you got to
Jr. You got to throw that in there. I like it, man. So, tell me about your time as a Virginia Beach police officer. How did you get started?
Okay, so I always wanted to be a cop, but long story short, it wasn't the patrol cop. I just wanted to be like whatever my diary was, and a detective and whatever. But I didn't even know that much into it. I didn't know what he was. I thought I just wanted to be like that. But yeah, I went to college for a little while. Ended up leaving school early, joined the military and reserves. And while I was in the reserves, I ended up joining the police department I applied at 20, and when I got hired, or by the time the academy came around, I was 21. So I was the youngest in the academy. And I graduated, I was still 21, like right out here in Virginia. So
Do you remember your first rookie ride along?
I do. Actually, my first day ever on the street, we responded to a call at an apartment, just to do a welfare check, and he knocked on the door. The dude, mom was like, "Hey, we hadn't heard from him in a while. You go check on him." It ended up being a 21-year-old that shot himself.
Your age?
Yeah, he was my age.
Okay.
And he shot himself. I remember walking into the apartment, walking into the room, and like seeing like the gun was still here, and he was going on the bed, and he left a letter that said that he did it because he didn't get hired for the police academy.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my first day on the job.
How did that impact you?
I would just like, he was still like kind of surreal. Like, cause you don't expect to see that right away.
Right.
So I was just like, did that just happen? Like,
So his mom was in the house?
no, she was working. He had his own apartment.
Okay.
So his mom they called the cops because she was in another state, and she was like, we haven't heard from him in a while. Can somebody go, he's just doing a welfare check. So usually a welfare check, you knock on the door like, hey, people looking for you, answer your phone. And they like, nah, my phone was off or whatever, or I wasn't trying to talk to them or something. But every now and then, either you get an elderly person is has died in the house, or something like this happens.
So did you see a lot of mental health?
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, it's hard because from the outside in, you don't realize how many mental health calls like come out every day. Like, suicide attempts, or, somebody, being what they call CIT, crisis intervention, like they need help. And sometimes you got to take them, to be evaluated, and end up being held for minimum 3 days because they're having some type of mental health crisis. So, I spent countless hours of shifts, different shifts, sitting with somebody at a hospital while they're waiting to get evaluated.
How long did it take for you to I guess you were already in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this, how long did it take before you started to become suspicious of people?
I would say
Your everyday life.
pretty much like right away. A couple months in, after dealing with people at their worst every day, I would say probably 3 months in, I was at home just looking at everybody like, ew. I would be, just especially my wife, like every time she do anything, I'm like, all right, make sure you do this. And, like locking the car door, something as simple. I'm like going back outside. Did I lock the door? Yeah. Because I was dealing with, coming on a shift and so many people, cars got broken into or taken just because they didn't lock the door. So, everybody was like, why you always, and I'm like, yo, cause y'all ain't see how many reports I just took today of somebody just simply let their door unlock and somebody stole their gun out of the car. They not done used in a crime. So yeah, it real quick I became suspicious.
That did it affect your day-to-day life in anywhere?
It did because I used to didn't walk around every day with a gun, but after that, you can't get me to leave the house with a gun. I don't even feel normal without the gun.
Right.
So,
It's to see it and live it.
mm-hmm.
You hear about the stories in the news. You're in the middle of it. We hear about it like a Monday day quarterback situation. What do you see on a scene that other people don't see? Like stories that come out, for example, this story came out today. I don't know how true it is, but the young lady in Mississippi was lynched or something like that. And they're already going to the conclusion that it was a heinous act. She could have just done it herself.
Right.
What did we get wrong?
I think that sometimes people are always, well, first of all, everybody watches TV and they become detectives overnight. And then depending on what you see on your Facebook feed, what your algorithm is, everybody jumps to their own conclusion, from the rip. I mean, the police officers do it too. It's just they see it from a different angle because they're thinking cock first. But I think what people get wrong is they don't get the facts first. Everybody just jumps to the conclusion. And like you said, for me, when I hear something like that, the first thing I think is, was it suicide? Because they're the same. And again, more times than not, I've seen people that actually committed suicide in that way. So that's what I would think. But in the era we're in, especially with the social media and is being like it's another racial war, I would say, going on. Everything's going to go straight to race. I've seen it, you know, I've seen it come in waves, during my time as a police officer.
How long were you on the force?
10 years.
So you were. I definitely got to ask you about this because I went and I photographed the ocean front
Oh, yeah.
during the protests
I could tell you a big story.
in May of 2020. What were the racial tensions like then? What was
Look, man, I'm about to this going to get good.
okay?
Oh, so look, I was on the oceanfront unit at the time, and this was 2020. It's 2020. Okay, 2020. I mean, I was in the heights of it. Yeah. Of it all, man. Even got doxxed at a certain point by some individuals out here that tried to put me on the internet. Lying. But I'll tell you, if you got time.
I got time.
So the tension was, it was crazy. Eh? Everything was racial. Everything. Like, I mean, I was conflicted. Like, I'm a black dude. I'm a cop. All the other cops around me was pretty much white dudes. White. So it was very rough. And every citizen that I passed looked at me like they were disgusted. Right. Family, everybody was like, you traitor. Yeah. And the riot, when the riot happened, I was front line, the main person.
When old boy drove his truck, that I was down at night.
I was there.
Okay.
I was there when it started, and there was first it was the protest.
Yep.
I was the cop on the bike at the front.
Okay.
That was helping. That was trying to make sure
Everything stays. That was on it was the end. It was the end of the street going towards Croatan.
Yep.
Right? That corner.
Winston say something like that. Like Rudy's Inlet. Yeah. Yeah. I was on the bike, man, and I'm thinking this is perfect. I volunteered because I can be with my people, and go.
It is not how any.
It turned out they started throwing frozen water bottles at me. and I'm scared. Them like, what's going on? The crowd stones. I'm getting hit. They cussing me out, walking it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so conflicted, you know. It got wild. It was a point, that was probably, that day was the scariest day of my life.
I can imagine,
That was the scariest day of my life.
because you didn't know what could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think a lot of this is media flamed, or is this really, when you were on patrol, did you see a lot of racial tension?
So I think that it's a little bit of both.
Mhm.
Because there is, the way that policing is it's almost a crime to be poor.
Yeah.
So it's, you get treated a certain way because you're gonna get pulled over for something over here that you're not gonna go there, and most of the time that's gonna be minorities. Yeah. So it's a little truth. It's truth. You know, yeah. There's definitely racial tension when it comes to policing. Yeah.
But is it, how can I put this? Does what we see on our news feeds and in the news, that flames it more,
Yes.
how fans it more, I have to say,
Yes.
versus what's reality? Because you pull people over, I'm sure not every interaction goes to the videos that we see on TikTok, and everything can't go that way.
No, 90% of the traffic stops are just like, hey, you were speeding. I'm not, no, trying you there, and it's over. Okay. You know, it's that small percentage where either somebody's horrible or they doing this and, you know, get to most, or like you pull somebody over and be like, oh, it's something fishy. Like I done been there where it's like,
What is it that you see?
so you start to see people movements and how they're acting.
So you studied human nature.
Absolutely. That's absolutely. You start to know humans every little tick because you're in fear for your life, and you're also trying to do a job, you know, so you're watching everything, you know, and you know, you come up to a traffic stop and you can already tell when a person starting to look over to this, like keep looking, doing this, being a little extra weird, like just you know, just what you were for telling. Like now you showing me some signs of it's something more going on. And those are the details that people miss when they're watching, you know, they're watching it from a body camera or something because they can't feel that tension as well. Right. Where you like, nah, something fishy. Come on, get out the car. It's a feel. It's a feeling that's hard to describe. But it could definitely be taught, but it's something that repetition over time you get it. And some people are better at it than others. Yeah. You know, so that's one of those things where it get kind of fixed. Because some cops are good at that feeling and they get that feeling all the time.
And it's just like there, it's innate.
Yeah. You know, but it's like, oh, hey man, you jumping the gun. This might not be that. You understand what I'm saying? So
Is it do you have any advice you could give to people to study human nature? Like what are signs that people could look for to protect themselves
so
throughout their day-to-day life?
so throughout the day to day, think of natural, right? So when you go into the grocery store, right, you know I'm here to get something, right? So you know you walking down the aisle, I'm looking for the popcorn, I'm going to the pop. When you start seeing people doing unnatural things in a natural setting, be worried.
Right.
If you see a bunch of people starting to queue and people moving and acting shaky, go the other way. It's always a sign of something. You know, it's like you ever see you be in a crowd and you see when somebody, you know, a fight about to happen because it start being real unnatural. Everything start moving. You start feeling it. People start moving a little quicker. That's when you go the other way. That's the signs that I look for. Anything that looks out of place. I'll be driving somewhere, see something, and like, why you go this way? It's it. Nah, I can already see what's going on out there. It's just too much movement over there at that 7-Eleven. I'm not stopping here.
You've had to run into the danger at times. Absolutely, all the time. That's for the most part. What does that do to your psyche?
It puts you in fight or flight mode often. It puts you in fight or flight mode because there's been times where, you know, I've heard gunshots at the oceanfront. I take off to the gunshots handle a scene, and then 2 hours later, I'm responding to a call to take a report of a stolen bike. So you constantly going like whoop, 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 whoop. By the time I get home, sometimes you like, I don't even remember what happened that day because it was too much. And if you try to explain it, it doesn't make sense. So you telling me somebody got shot, you help patch them up and they got them on the way, and then you arrest somebody for heroin. Then you went to an overdose call, and then you took the report at 7-Eleven for stolen, you know, fruit cup. Like you did all that in one day. It's like, yeah, it's just a day at a job. It's just a day.
Is how can I ask this? For people that don't know the city of Virginia Beach, it's a large city. Uh, is most of the action at the oceanfront?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, in the summertime.
Summertime.
In the summertime, if you work at the oceanfront, you are busy.
Right.
You are busy because it's just so much going on.
Is that a job officers avoid? They want to be in another.
No, like it's not. But young people, the young officers love that. They love that. They love that. It's fun. It is fun. But I think after a few summers, maybe one or two, it's too much.
What's the area that is the best to work in?
I started off at the 4th Precinct in Kibbsville area,
Right.
and I loved it because that's where people live at.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a people person. I'm a community guy.
Yeah.
So I think that for me was able to connect with people. And like, I knew everybody that worked at the 7-Elevens in my area, like all that stuff. So I love that area because it's very family oriented. That's amazing. So yeah, I think that's the best one. But if you ask most officers that want to, have fun and stuff like that, they're going to say the 3rd Precinct or the oceanfront.
Your 3rd precinct is town center, right?
3rd Precinct, yeah, that's part of. But mainly when you're talking about like Lake Edwards or so.
Oh hell.
And yeah, that's where a lot of people, people want action. Yeah, yeah. And I was wise already because I'm from the hood.
Right.
I
He's already done military.
Yeah, so I wasn't looking for action per se. I was kind of like, look, man, I want to make it home. I wasn't trying to get in all this.
I think I heard that a lot of and I give credence to officers for this. You just want to go home.
Yeah.
I think that is the job, is to go home and make it home.
1,000%.
But people, I think once you put on a badge, people don't look at you as a human anymore.
Yes, that's true. And, like I said, it's a uniform at that point. Like you're the government. You're not you. Yeah. Like I always say, like people assume that I didn't go home. They was like, they think you can go at any time and be like, I'm Officer Scurry. And I'm not at work 24/7. Like it doesn't work like that, So yeah, people, they don't, because of movies and because of over time, or it's not really access. It's very much robotic. Like it's separated. But, and I can also say this on the other side. Sometimes the police officers, they forget that they're also human and they become straight up, I'm a police officer. And that's where a lot of people get messed up at. And you start to see the tables get turned. It's like, oh, dude, turn that off.
Yeah.
Like you can still get hurt too.
Yes.
So still, while you're looking for the fun or want to go to the fun precinct or whatever, where all the drama is, like, yo, remember, you can also, like, you're not out of play. There's no restart to this. And they forget that. So the badge it could trick some people.
Power.
Yeah, it's a lot of power.
A lot of power with it. It is, what's the worst thing that you've seen that you can talk about? What's the story that you carry to this day?
So I always,
if you feel comfortable.
yeah. I've been, I done did this, I done did that job, man. Yeah, I was good, but so, what I always talk about is, and this is when I was a rookie, is, I was looking for a little girl, helping the grandparents find her, and I'm expecting, she's just around the house somewhere, or but went to we went next door, and found a little girl in the pool, drowned in the pool. And, I had a young daughter at home, and, to see that was just devastating. When we found her, she was already deceased. Like, it was clear, but we still had to go through and do CPR all the way to the hospital, even at the hospital till they pronounced her. And, just to see the parents' reaction, I was confused because you expecting somebody go crazy. It wasn't, because they were in shock. Like, they were just as shocked as we were. So it didn't until they got to the hospital and it really hit them like, hey, this has actually happened. They were just kind of blanked about it. And there was no foul play or nothing involved. The parents wasn't even home. They came home and, was like, where's our daughter? What's going on? They thought it was, she was being babysit. And yeah, so I was just so confused, like, well, you're supposed to be screaming. Like, y'all supposed to be hysterical, but they weren't. And that stuck with me because I'm like, what's, I'm so confused. And another one that hit me is at the ocean front. I went to 2 shootings in the same night, like back to back. And it was both young guys, and just to deal with that, like, it was over nothing. I'm at this one scene, patching the guy up, helping him out, and, he gets taken off, and I get back on my bike to go finish my shit. Bah, bah, bah. 1 block over, more shots. I get over there, it's another young dude. Like, not even involved. Like, two separate incidents, but it was for nothing. Like, it was for nothing. He just here looking like, y'all really, like, people don't care. And that could have easily, if I was on my bike right there, could have caught those, I'd have been right there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the time I get there, I'm like, yo, I was right here. So yeah, those things would always hit me to be like, it's just wait, does something happen?
With the girls' parents, sure you see more of that. What do you think the shock is behind that?
I really think that there's hard. It's really hard to think something like that will happen to you. So when it happens, you have to sit back and say, is this a dream or like, is this real? Because it's not like you go through every day like, oh man, I expect this to happen. So I think that when they came and they seen this, there's like, wait a minute, no, we're gonna get to the hospital, everything's gonna be all right, right? Okay, no, something's gonna happen, and it does. That's why you often see some people don't even start really grieving sometimes until the funeral, when they realize that this is actually like this person is going. It's real. Yeah, yeah. I think that the parents it wasn't reality yet to them. They seek in.
That's it's heavy, man. That is heavy. They you when you started, do you remember how you felt your last day versus your first day?
Oh yeah, my first.
How much more experienced were you as far as human nature and in life in general is concerned?
So it was crazy. It's like I said, I was 21, so I'm the youngest dude. At that point, I'm the youngest dude on the department in general. Even though I had so much life experience, because again, I'm from here. I done went to college and the military. I already had a kid and wife, but I never been a patrol cop. I never seen this much going on. And I remember at first, just, at the beginning, I'm looking like I'm going to calls and telling grown folks, that been married for 30 years to chill out. I'm arresting them for domestic and stuff. I'm like, I remember having a officer, my PTO, who police training officer, who was very, very, like, he'd been doing this a long time, and he could see stuck at you like how do you know that? He like, pull that car, behind his ass, and he pull up and he find drugs and all types of stuff, and I'm like, how did you know that? He like, it's because it's little things. They coming out of that area right here, then that whole motel, there's drugs in there, like there's nothing good in there. So if you see one little thing, you like, oh, they get, so
It leads to more.
it leads to so much more. So I went in there again. I'm going in there like, Nah, most people good. And then you lead out like, nah, the people, you just, because you see, you're dealing with people on their worst, right? So you start to really not trust everybody anymore. Uh, and that could save your life, but sometimes it make you kind of distant. Yeah. And
I was thinking about it. As children, we're taught about all the good in the world. Nobody prepares you for the darkness that's really, really out there. And you've seen it. I mean, like with the military, and which was the hardest on you?
honestly, I would say the police department,
Why is that?
because it's constant.
Okay.
It's daily. Like military, you could be at home base, and you're not doing nothing, right? It's only till you downrange or you in them situations. But for the most part, like everybody isn't dealing with the dangers. And like as an officer, there's been multiple times where I'm like, oh, I'm probably about to get shot, or I'm like, this is about to happen. You know, uh, even the fights and like we call it going hands on. You'd be surprised how many times you got to get into a tussle with somebody, and I've never had to get into a all out bull, but I've had to, and multiple times, like somebody got a weapon, I'm trying to get them down, we trying to arrest the person. Is usually that resistance, but it's so much going on. You don't know what's about to happen, you know? So yeah, I would say the police department, because it's a day to day battle.
It's always something wrong.
There's always something. Like you might go a good shift. You can go shifts without, you know, anything crazy. Especially depends where you work.
Right.
But the thing is, it's the little things you see, right? Like you're going to see something crazy at some point, whether it's, you know, pulling somebody over and the mom got heroin and all this, and these little kids is dirty in the back. And like he like, man, like it pull things like,
Yes, immediately for some.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Like they have to be called, but yeah, just a judgment call.
Yeah, you had to.
Okay.
Yeah, certain situations you got to meet that. You got to call. I mean, just that's some of the stuff you see and be like, oh, people are crazy. You ain't caring about your kids. What's going on here?
Y'all are the 7 cities here.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't know. Do all of y'all talk?
It's so not really,
Okay.
because it's like this is the thing about police, right? And a lot of people don't understand this. With tell you police, most police would like this is you a cop over here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come over here and look and can do that over here.
Yeah.
That's your king.
Yeah.
Unless you had an event or something like that, it's cool. But like, nah, it's kind of like, man, oh, it's a little petty beef. Everybody thinks they're better. This person got more training, this and that. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's a lot of petty beef when it comes to police.
That's interesting. I would have thought that y'all would. I can't believe this happened in Norfolk today. What happened in Virginia Beach? Did you see what happened in Portsmouth today? Did none of that?
So now it's some friends. Like, I have friends in other places that you might meet, right? Stuff. So yeah, you cool with them, but it's like how people like you get a pass to you get pulled over or something, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you take yourself somewhere else. You ain't getting that same love,
Right.
So yeah.
Have you put the badge down?
Mhm.
What have you not put down?
I didn't put down the habits of being cautious. I'm very, very cautious on everything I do. I'm talking about if I'm at the grocery store, anything, I'm constantly on alert. Yeah, I haven't put down having a weapon on me, being prepared for pretty much anything to happen. And some of the mental part,
Yeah, speak to that more. What's the mental toll that this took on you that you can't you should probably live with till you're out of here?
uh, I think some of it is being being a young black dude on the department. I'm not treated below. I'm not going to say, but it's different because you see you see the different sides. I was able to tap into the community a little more than most people, right? Yeah. So I was constantly playing, um, mediator, if you will. Yeah. So that part took the toll on me. And as far as the mental part is, it's some things you just can't unsee, and you put so much pressure on yourself. It's hard to put that down. You know, just again that when you constantly go from high alert back down to normal, high alert to normal. Uh, from the I get jumpy for every little thing, and I'm also numb to a lot of stuff because some stuff now I'm just like, all right, yeah. Now, I see lights and sirens and I'll be like, they probably ain't long enough.
Boom. All right. So the lights and sirens. Do you hear me in your sleep sometimes?
No, because I'm numb to them.
Okay.
Like, it's funny. My wife would be like, "You hear all them lights? Sorry, like we could be in the backyard or anything." I'm like, "No, I keep because I'm so used to it. It's just another noise." But I often wake up thinking I'm I still got to go to work. Like that part is still in me. Like I still think that I got the shift tomorrow,
Yep.
and I'll be like, "Oh man, you ain't." No, you don't, dude. Sit down, sleep.
You're good.
Yeah.
Relax. That for people who don't know, you're married to a nurse.
Mhm.
You're a police officer.
Mhm.
How do those worlds overlap?
Well, there is a lot of uh we both deal with the traumas in different ways, right? And I often say like some of hers probably was uh a little more tolling or taxing. And I say that because when I deal with a situation, it's usually over right there. Like for example, somebody gets shot or something, I'm a help once they move on. I don't see them no more. Like that situation is probably done with for me. But she has to like care for somebody for weeks at a time, days at a time, and then they might pass away. You made an emotional connection with that person that is hard. So I think that that's a little, I would say a little more difficult, though mine would be a little more physical demanding or dangerous. But yeah, but and nurses and cops usually cross paths a lot because we go to the ER so much with patients or, somebody getting a car crash or whatever. You had the ER, even with the mental health stuff, you sit in the ER for hours. And you get to talking to the nurses, you get to know the nurses and different people, the doctors around. So, yeah, a lot of nurses and cops cross paths a lot and deal with some of the same stuff, especially mental health and things like that.
Is that the mental side of it? I think I would imagine that officers are called a lot for that. Is that something that medical and officers like tackle together, or is that something separate?
The mental health patient, yeah. Um, so yeah, now they have mental health professionals that actually some of they have like one or two in the city that ride with officers, like with a CIT officer, and when they go to a scene that might have a mental health patient, that somebody going through a crisis, then that specific officer duo will go to the call together. So they do work together on that. They're called clinicians. They have clinicians, but every city doesn't have that. Virginia Beach is pretty unique with training and getting on top of stuff pretty quick. So how is that? I think because it's a larger city. They have their own police academy. You got a lot of options for training and yeah, I would say the Virginia Beach is probably one of the best well-trained cities in America when it comes to the police department. I'm not just saying that because I was an instructor on the second. I was an instructor at the academy, a great one. But yeah, but they definitely though you got state-of-the-art training compared to some of these places. You think about a city with 3,000 people, right? A little town. Yeah, they don't have money to offer all this training and extra stuff. So they're behind with a lot of skills, tactics. Virginia Beach they got enough officers, enough people, resources to really get some good training.
You mentioned earlier that you don't go anywhere at this point in time without a firearm. That's your thing. The governor here just attempted to ban certain weapons. What do you think the public? Why do you think the public is so against firearms?
Yeah. There's a lack of awareness and when it comes to firearms.
Hold on, before you go on.
Okay.
From what you've seen, you understand that it's kind of needed.
Mm-hmm.
But why do other people not grasp the dangers that are out there? They just say, "Oh, you don't need a gun," when there are like millions, thousands in this city of people who are walking around just ready to take a life. You don't want to protect yourself at all.
Well, it go back to the shot thing, right? Most people don't think anything can happen to them. Yeah, they see a mass shooting, they like, yeah, but that would never happen to me. Right. So that's why there's a lack of awareness. Like most people walk around so self-aware, and I'm just like, dude, you ain't just see that. And my wife's like that. Like she doesn't see danger the way I see danger. Right. Her, she can live because she got a bodyguard that's everywhere with her. Right. So, I think there's a lack of awareness, and people aren't in reality. Like that only when stuff happens on the internet, they're like, that didn't really happen. That's Nebraska on the phone. Yeah, that's over there. It never happened here. So until it hits them, they just live in la la land. Yeah. And professions like mine is like, you see it. So you like, nah, this ain't not me.
Everywhere.
Yeah. It's not if it's gonna happen. It's almost like when is it?
When is it going to happen? And that's a mindset. It's a heavy mindset to live with. One more question for you. If you could get a message out to all of the public about police relations and civil relations, what would you say?
I would say this. I would say in order for the relations to get better, there has to be some new fundamentals put into place, some new policies, some new way to work together, because the way that it started in the beginning of policing, the way that the media has ended up pushing things, everything came together to make a clash. And some things are rightfully so, to be honest. But I think that if we could make an effort to be like, all right, police, let's say this is to protect and serve. Like we're the people. This isn't an army. This is each other. Like we're here for the people. If we can find a way to unite, it'd be more of a community thing, then that's what we should do. But it's not going to be on the internet going back and forth. It got to be some real conversations and some mediators to make the changes. It's not going to be just attacking guns and making more laws and this and that. It got to be some real fundamental change.
None of that is ever going to change anything. Yeah. Officer Jerome Scurry Jr.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Thank you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Rome the Ruler. You can find me on YouTube at Lead Teach Inspired Network. And I'm here. Follow the podcast, Culture Development Podcast, and Family to Business Podcast. And I'm around, man.